Now let's have a look at some of the key strategies which we can implement in our classroom as being language teachers. So one of the strategies which I want to discuss here is skimming and scanning. And these two strategies are important. These two techniques, or you can say skills, or you can say approaches, are all the more important to make our students good readers or effective readers. So let's have a look at what skimming and scanning means. Skimming and scanning, as some of my previous discussion may have driven this point, that skimming is all about getting the general idea of a text, and scanning is all about getting the specific information from a text. So these two elements, these two strategies are important, and they have their usefulness for pedagogical practice in the classroom, because they can prepare students to face the challenges of real life. So why they read and what they want to do with the text and what information to be obtained. So both skimming and scanning are important to prepare students how they read, what they want to read, and what information needs to be obtained. So skimming and scanning can help our students see reading in second language as reading as performance, reading as a skill, which is not passive, rather which is active, or which involves a lot of effort on the part of the readers. So there are some activities. For example, we can give tasks to the students of reading. We can bring in the tasks of, if the students have their needs in business life, we can bring in the tasks of business activities or some economic, whatever sort of purpose students have, we can bring in, and we can integrate skimming and scanning into our language teaching practice, right? So reading for specific purposes actually is different from that of reading for academic purposes, because reading for specific purposes would require students to do something with the text. Reading for academic purpose would require students to do different with that of the text or the information which they are dealing with. So this is how when we are exposing students to reading in our classrooms, we need to bring in variety of texts, the texts which can prepare them do well in their real life. So because in real life we read for different purposes, we read in different ways and different purposes. So teachers in this way can determine what sort of strategies are useful for their students, and within the teaching of these strategies we can integrate skimming and scanning. As I said before, both these skills or approaches are all the more important to infer the main idea or the theme of the given text. So of course reading for specific purposes has its own benefits, because it can prepare students, select texts, interact with text, approach the text with a particular purpose. So this is how this is the job of the teacher, that they should train their students, and this is your job as language teachers when you become, or some of you are already teaching language, that we should give this message to our students that not all reading should be approached in the same way, because second language reading has different purposes. So we should approach according to the purpose which we have for that particular. So it depends what our purpose is actually. Are we reading it for business purposes or social purposes or economic purposes or academic or specific purposes? So within these purposes, skimming and scanning fit well, because skimming and scanning are important to make students aware of the strategies which they can use to become effective and good readers.